After decades of underbanking, Africa has entered the era of electronic payments and cryptocurrencies, a gigantic market which is attracting all kinds of interest and is sometimes moving faster than the infrastructures responsible for controlling it. In this landscape, what about the GMAC payment card, the CEMAC interbank electronic money grouping that brings together the 6 Central African countries? I asked the question to Valentin Bozo, GMAC's Director General, in Yaoundé in his office. This card, which has now become one of the major international cards with over 11 million transactions processed. Let's listen to him. Hello, Valentin. The GMAC is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year. And in 2016, you created with the Central Bank of Central African States the GMAC card, competing with major international cards, Visa, MasterCard and UnionPay. How is this launch somehow revolutionary?
La carte GMAC lancée en 2015.
The GMAC card launch in 2015 was revolutionary because before there was no sub-regional interoperability.
On est une entité.
We are a group of 6 countries with a central bank that issues a currency called the CFA franc, which is pegged to the euro. And interoperability was done internationally at prohibitive costs. The great advantages the GMAC card brought to the sub-region was it allowed banks to operate together in the sub-region, and also in terms of reducing costs.
At the launch of GMAC, you announced that one of the priority objectives was the democratization of the banking card. When we look at the average rate of banking in the sub-region, we barely reach 15%, half the rate of sub-Saharan Africa. How do you explain it?
If we look at the percentage of the market share of the GMAC card, it is now the 2nd largest card in CEMAC, behind Visa, and soon it may even be the largest. So success? Yes. People now know what a card is. They didn't know because before the elite had the international cards and the little people didn't have a card. So now when we say democratized, it's because everyone, now without exception, even very modest people, have this card.
Since 2012, you have been at the head of GMAC as managing director, and you benefit from the support of your supervisory authority, the Central Bank of Central African States. How has GMAC improved the daily lives of Central Africans, and what is the biggest challenge left to overcome by 2030?
In terms
of improving or revolutionizing the lives of the people of Central Africa, I would first talk about mobility. Imagine that from town to town or country to country, it used to be difficult to get around without cash. Now it's a matter of course. It allows the people of the sub-region to move around in complete security, without carrying cash in their pockets to pay or make withdrawals wherever they are. There is another development that is not perhaps a card, but is mobile. We have achieved what we call full interoperability. This is the card of mobile card transactions and transfers that converge in the platforms and allow total mobility, or take into account the very essence of the populations of the sub-region.
I'd like to have your thoughts on the cryptocurrency project in the Central African Republic, the Sango coin. What is it? Is it an initiative that can be replicated across the continent?
Innovation initiatives are always welcome, but feasibility can be a problem in terms of the availability of the tool or the currency in question. Because in a country, every citizen is entitled to make payments at any time. Finally, the currency is designated as local currency. However, when we look at the digital environment in the Central African Republic, it is still at the primary stage. So my concern is that somewhere we have put the cart before the horse.
Je redoute seulement que quelque part on ait mis la charrue avant les bœufs. À savoir que peut-être qu'il faudrait.
Perhaps we should think about how to evolve towards these currencies in the days, years, or months to come. But there is a problem. Would it be viable for other countries?
Pour les autres pays je ferai la même analyse.
I would reach the same conclusion while the infrastructures are not yet completely available. It could be as a national currency, so there are still some reservations on this point.
Un peu réservé sur ce point.